Hi everybody, this is Kristen from A Voice and a View, and I don't normally come on this early, and I'm sorry I'm not all put together yet. I slept in my makeup, so wasn't planning on doing a video this early, but I had some inspiration to do this right now. I didn't want to forget some of the information that I wanted to mention here. So today's healing lesson is called What is Control? And as we look around us, everything that we've grown up to believe is about who's controlling who. Okay? Especially about God and what God is. And myself, growing up Catholic, and growing up in that belief system, it was always about I had to go somewhere else to find God. And it never felt right to me. I never connected with the church. And I know a lot of you do. And everybody has their own beliefs, and that's fine. But what I have learned is that I don't need to go somewhere else to find God. I don't need to go in a building to find God. I don't need to go speak with someone to find God, to help me find God, to show me who God is. And what I've learned through this process is that God is within your heart. God is within you. That inner flame. The force is what I talk about. Because we are all children of God and we have God's abilities. We have the ability to attain that level of consciousness. And through all of our journeys, it's always been, or taught, that we have to go somewhere else to find God. And that is not the case. When you go through this healing process of opening your chakras, balancing them out, doing your inner shadow work, healing yourself, okay, and moving upward, opening up the chakras and getting through the lower chakras, which are devil energy, and getting into the higher chakras, the heart chakra on up. Okay, God will show you who He is. God will reveal Himself to you and show you everywhere in your outside world and your inner world. Okay? And for so long, we have been taught that God is outside of ourselves, that we have to go somewhere else to pray, or to have someone else show us who God is, to help us find God and to I don't necessarily want to say control us in that way, because yes, that is true. But some believe that they're doing the right thing. It's kind of a hard thing to digest. But for so long, we've all been giving our power away to others to control our beliefs, to control us through religion. And some unknowingly, guys. I'm not not trying to put blame out there or target anyone or, put anyone on the spot to make someone feel less than or whatever. But for so long, through the powers that were, have tried to control us, just to keep us all stuck, to keep us in the lower energy, to keep us in the lower chakra energies, which is devil energy, guys. And I'm not going to claim to know everything about the Bible, because I haven't read the whole Bible. But I know what I have found for myself through this process of what God is, and through the chapters that I have read in the Bible. I now understand what God is and the process of attaining God, and knowing that God is in yourself and not somewhere outside of yourself. I know that it's an ascension guide. I've been shown that. And so many try to divert your attention to something outside of yourself, to find God somewhere else, to find God in institutions, in other places, because that keeps you stuck. That keeps you from seeing the truth. It keeps you from seeing who God actually is. And that you can find God, Spirit, the Holy Spirit, you can find God within yourself. Growing up, I sat in church and I never had a connection. I didn't want to go. I didn't feel any connection at all. And not to say that, those who do go to church, they don't find God. Or that they go to church and they do find God. I'm just saying from my experience, okay? And what I have found is that I don't need to go somewhere else to attain God and the God frequency. I have experienced so many miracles, so many amazing experiences through this process of healing and shedding the layers of trauma off of me. Okay, it creates a transformation in your life, in my life, especially. I mean, if you saw me years ago, actually my whole life, if you saw me, you wouldn't recognize me. Because I did believe in God, but I wasn't absorbing God. I didn't actually have a relationship with Him, or Father, Mother, God. It wasn't until I started this healing process without realizing I was going on a journey, opening up my chakras, being in nature, constantly being alone, because God wants to get you alone to wake you up. Doing the shadow work, healing yourself, healing your heart, healing the trauma, the childhood trauma, and the trauma that you've experienced through your whole life. Healing all those wounds within yourself, within myself, that I started realizing that God is not somewhere outside of me. And I don't need to go to a different building to find him. God is in the natural world. God is within you and everywhere around you. Okay, mainly he's inside of you. But God works in the natural world and shows you signs when you go through this process. Will show you signs, synchronicities, miracles, because you will be on the God frequency. You will attain parts of your brain that you haven't accessed, because we only use about 10% of our brain. You will start activating other areas of your brain. The pineal gland, when you decalcify your pineal gland from no fluoride in your water or toothpaste, that's another big part of this process. When you do that, it's like your Wi-Fi signal to God. And you can communicate with the natural world, and you will be shown everywhere around you. And you'll start having magical experiences. Things will start to appear in your reality that you can't explain. So I have been on that frequency many, many times over the years. But all of our lives, we've been taught to give our power away. You are a powerful being of God, and you don't need to go somewhere outside of yourself to find God. The power is within you to find him. You're giving your power away. You need to call your power back. Okay, I am calling all of my power and energy back to me. Say it. The I am is so powerful. That I am affirmation is so powerful. The great I am, that's God. And you are a part of God. God is trying to wake you up and show you who he is and who you are. This is so important to call your power back. You're giving your power away to other entities that are taking advantage of you and that are using your power to believe in something that is false. And I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me on this, but I have experienced it. My everyday life, this is what I experience. I have magical experiences all the time. And the natural world communicates with me. And the thing is that you all have the ability to do this through healing yourself, through the hard work of healing yourself. And like I said, guys, if you would have seen me years ago, you wouldn't recognize me now. I have transformed. Because part of this process, especially with meditation, you receive God's energy. You receive the frequency through DNA downloads and upgrades, through activating dormant DNA, and it transforms you inside and out. You'll start losing weight. I used to weigh quite a bit more than I do now. You'll start losing addictions because that trauma comes off of you through this process of ascension. I'm doing the work. And everybody has to do the work on their own. Nobody can do it for you, and no one is going to save you. You have to save yourself. But when you meditate and you connect with God, you will be on the God frequency. And God sends you messages. God sends you his healing frequencies. And you start to transform. You'll start to have ringing in your ears, which are messages. When you get ringing in your left and the right ear, you'll be getting messages. When that happens, look that up. When you get ringing in one or the other, whatever ear it is, you get downloads through your ears. It's kind of crazy, but you do. This Great Awakening journey and ascension process is happening for us all, and we are all able to do it. But you have free will, and if you don't want to do it, then you don't have to. Everybody has a choice. But you have to ask. You have to ask God for help. You have to give your life to God. Ask God for help. Ask your angels, your spirit guides, your angels, because we all have them. They're just waiting for you to ask, or to ask, and so they can help you. But out of this video, the most important thing I want to mention is that you're giving your power away by looking for God outside of yourself. God is within you. God is the flame within you, in your heart. You are a child of God, which means you have abilities like God does. It's DNA, guys. And God will transform you in every way when you go through this process, and you won't even recognize yourself. I don't recognize myself after going through this, and it's taken me about 10 years. But the more you do this work, you're going to see your life transform. Not just in your inside world, okay? But in your outside world. But it will transform you physically. Seriously. If you could see the pictures of myself from before I started this process, you'd be amazed. And actually, I might do that. I might put my picture out there, my before and after. God takes a hold of you. And transforms you. Because your DNA is powerful. You just have to activate it. You have to activate your dormant DNA. Call your power back. And I talk about us all having an energy signature to us. And we do. Everyone does. Your lower chakras are your darker energies. Your higher chakras are your loving energies. Your God energies. But we all have an energy signature to us. And the more you call your power back and stop giving it away to other entities that are using it, that are taking advantage of you and using your energy, because your energy is powerful, guys. The more you do that, the more you're going to wake up, the more you're going to protect yourself and your energy. The more God is going to see you, the more information God is going to give you to help wake you up, to help remember who you are in the spirit, in your soul. Because we are the spirit, guys. We're not the body, we're the soul. This is just a suit we're wearing. But you'll transform and you'll be in shock by how God transforms you. And you won't recognize yourself. But the main thing I want to mention in this video is that you have to wake up and recognize who you are. And remember who you are. You are a child of God. And if you're not calling your power back to you, you're giving it away for free for others to use your energy. And that can be used for dark purposes, guys. The more you take your power back, the more control you have over your life, over your body, and over your soul. And the less power they have. Stop giving them your power. I had somebody walking up by me. Big surprise. So, I know this is controversial. I know that a lot of people might not believe this information. But I need you to have an open mind and to examine your life, examine what's going on around you, and just think about what I'm saying. And examine this information. There are other entities that are controlling your life without you even realizing it. This is so important for you to wake up to. It's manipulation, it's greed, and control over your soul. You are a sovereign being. You are a light being of God. And the more you give your power away to others, the less control you have over your own life. The less freedom you have over your own life. And we have freedom, guys, not just in our country. You know, it's not only important to have freedom, you know, in your country, but the most important freedom is for yourself. Freedom within yourself. To realize that you are a sovereign being. Everyone is important. We are a divine collective. We are all connected in the spirit. That's why when you yawn, others yawn around you. I like to give this example because it makes sense. But, you're not just someone walking around down here on earth. You're important. You're a divine being. And once you wake up to that fact, your whole life will change when you start going through this process of healing and releasing all of that stuff that has controlled you your whole life. All of those agencies and entities that have pushed their belief systems on you to keep you stuck, to help you not realize who you are in the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. Call your power back and realize who you are. You are an important light being to God. You are an important child of God, and God is trying to wake you up to see this fact. You don't need someone else to show you who God is, to tell you who God is. You are part of God, and you can access Him anytime you want through this process. And God will show you who you are. You just have to realize the power that you have within yourself and to wake up to that fact. And God will communicate with you. Excuse me. So, like I said, I know this video is controversial, guys. But I really want you to look at this information and think about it. And we all have free will to do what we want down here. God gave us that ability. God gave us our freedom. But our choices are what creates our worlds. If you make good choices, you're on the higher frequencies. If you make choices that are negative, you're going to be on the lower frequencies. But you have to lose the layers of trauma. Shed those layers off of you. Shed the trauma off of you and start balancing out your chakras. Look them up on YouTube on how to do that. Get through your lower chakras, the devil energy, and work your way up through the higher chakras. And your frequency is going to change, guys. This is an ascension process. And you can activate your DNA. Just like in your family, things are passed down to you through your family and your DNA. But other things, can change your DNA. But in order for you to activate your dormant DNA and to ask for DNA downloads and upgrades, and you have to ask. Look up the I am affirmations. It will really help you understand, the power that you have within yourself. It'll start to activate or reactivate your divinity. Again, you have free will to allow this process of healing and to transform your life and to find the real God within you, who is not somewhere outside of you, who is separate from you. God is everywhere, but God is not separate from you. God is the inner flame within you. So you have that option, but you also have the option to stay where you are. And by the choices that you make, you can either go down or up. And right now we are in this process. That's why you see everything happening out in the world right now, because people are changing. They're being attacked in the spirit because they are on the lower energies, in the devil energy. And people are transforming right in front of our eyes. They used to be one way and now they're different. This is why you see so much chaos out there. People can get energy attachments, get entity attachments to them, guys. If they're in the lower energies, in the lower chakra, if they're stuck in the lower chakra energies, they can get attachments. And they might not be able to control themselves and their actions. Which is why I am on here. I try to do it every day. But that's why I'm on here so much, trying to help you see who you are. You are a divine being. Here on this planet to learn, to grow, to understand everything around you. But you have to understand that you have free will. And if you don't want to do this process, that's your right. That's your choice, and you have that choice. But right now, God is trying to wake you up. He's trying to help you see that you are powerful. You are a divine being, and he's asking you to connect. But if you don't want to, that's your right. But right now, I'm telling you, it's so important that you do. That's why they say you've got an angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. That's what that means, guys. You've got the devil energies, lower chakras, God energy, the higher chakras. By the choices you make is the energy that you will either stay in or move up in. So I'm going to end the video there. I know this is controversial. I know a lot of you probably won't believe this, but have an open mind. It's so important that you think for yourself. Not to let anyone outside of you tell you who God is. If you're doing that, then you're giving your power away. You're letting other people control you without even realizing it, unfortunately. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Just a lot of information to think about. And this is just information to help you, not to harm you or hurt you in any way. I'm telling you, this is what I have learned and experienced for myself. This is an ascension process to Christ consciousness. This is enlightenment. Process to enlightenment. And everyone is at a different level right now. Not everyone is going to be in the same place, obviously. But you have control over your own life, over your own soul. So you have to make your own decisions. This is your choice. Find God. Ask for help. Give it all to God. Ask Him to work in your life and to show you the truth no matter what the cost. And you will be shown. So I hope this information helped today. I've got someone right behind me with their lights on, just kind of sitting there. So anyways, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I got to go home and get myself together. All right, this is Kristen from A Voice and a View. Love you all. Peace, love, and light, guys. Bye.